What do you do for your job?
I'm a blacksmith, mainly producing wrought iron curtain poles, bespoke curtain poles.
And how did your job start?
Well, it started a long time ago when I finished in racing and I was making horseshoes for farriers, and then I started making curtain poles for a small shop in Hungerford in Berkshire. And not long after that, we started supplying the John Lewis Partnership and supplied all their department stores for 12 years.
And you said you moved down from Hungerford. Just explain what some of the benefits and the factors behind that were.
Right, well, I had a very, very small workshop up in Berkshire, and we weren't very happy with the education up there. The schools weren't particularly good for our daughters. I was born and brought up in Devon, so, brought up in Somerset actually, but born in Devon. And well, it stemmed from a bad car accident actually. We decided that life in the rat race we weren't enjoying anymore. So we decided to move down here. The opportunity came with this place with a bit of land, so the girls could have ponies and things. And we had a workshop, and it was outside the village with a really good school and a pub. And so everything suited us really well, and it's worked out. Over 20 years now we've been here, so it's we certainly haven't looked back.
And you've been able to expand in this?
Yeah, expand into this workshop. It took us. Planning was a real problem, and then we had a few other problems when we lost the cottage and things. But in general, it's worked out really well. And it just depends on. There's not exactly an industrial estate in Kingsnympton, so anybody moving here might have the only issue would be from premises to work from, really, what they would need.
And is that something you think the village could support? Do you think if places were available, they'd be snapped up?
I think they probably would now. Before COVID, probably not. But I think more people want to move away from the towns and cities and change their lifestyle a bit. They've sat back and thought about it. And I think there's a lot more people that would like to live in the countryside and be able to still earn a living without being stuck in the middle of London or wherever. So yeah, I think this probably would appeal to a lot more people nowadays to be able to move to a village and carry on with their business.
How did living in the small enclosed village of Kingsnympton in the countryside affect the job, and was it in a positive or negative way?
Very positive, yeah, because we didn't have any neighbours to annoy with the noise, and we had the space to do what we wanted to do, and it's not, because we don't actually have any customers visit, it's all done online, so it's not an issue at all being stuck out in the middle of nowhere.
Has COVID affected the job?
In a very positive way. We've had the busiest 2 years we've ever had. People have been at home spending money as opposed to going out spending in pubs and holidays, so it's been very positive for us.
And have recent rising costs affected your job?
Yes, a great deal. Yes, our profitability has plummeted really, because our steel's gone up more than doubled in price, and also transportation, packaging, courier charges, everything's gone up, and gas prices. So it's been and electricity prices. So yeah, everything's affected us quite badly. Yeah.
So Darryl, you said that a lot of your costs have gone up. What are the factors that have pushed those costs up?
Well, steel prices really. I mean, because of Ukraine and everything else, all the trouble, some of our steel probably was coming from Ukraine, and now the last lot of steel I think came from Turkey. And my normal order of steel would be £600-800. Now it's well over 2,000. So it's gone up a huge amount.
And in terms of transportation costs?
Yeah, our courier charges, with the fuel duty and everything else as well, that's all gone up. Our gas prices have gone up considerably, and we haven't had an electricity bill yet recently, so I don't know what that's going to be. We'll wait and see about that one. Yeah.
But all of those are international things. They're not necessarily a factor of living out in the countryside?
No, I think it's the same for everybody. Yeah. I mean, there's the deliveries of steel and that are doesn't really matter where, it's a sort of set delivery charge. So you know, it doesn't matter that we're out here as long as the lorries can get here. And the couriers are in the village every day anyway, so they collect from us. So that's not an issue. No.
And the infrastructure is there to trade internationally? I'm thinking in terms of internet and all of those.
Yeah, the internet. Yeah. I mean, with the fibre broadband's brilliant. I mean, that made a huge difference to our business because all our business is done online, and also the fact we managed to get 3-phase electricity into here as well, which that was a huge expense, but you know it can be done. So yeah, you know, everything you can. Yeah, it's not a big issue. No.
What are the challenges to working with foreign partners from Kingsnympton?
With foreign partners, well, we've stopped now completely because of Brexit. We were supplying manufacturing in Germany, which is a chain of department stores. But when Brexit came in, it just wasn't viable for us. The paperwork, everything was. They wanted us to have a representative in Germany, which we couldn't afford. That it was ridiculous. So we just had to say, well, I'm sorry, we can't supply you anymore.
Would you recommend Kingsnympton for international working to people?
Well, yes. I mean, it depends on what they're doing, obviously. But I don't see any reason why not. I mean, we seem to be able to get deliveries and send stuff out and without too much of a problem. We get steel lorries in here. So yes, I don't think it's an issue. No.
And you say Brexit has closed down European markets. Might it not open up others elsewhere in the world?
For us, probably not, because they wouldn't be in the EU, so and we're not. So it's not going to make a lot of difference whether we're dealing with America or Europe or wherever. All the paperwork and everything else is an absolute nightmare. You know, so we're busy enough, and we still get orders that we send, that we do for properties abroad, but normally it's through a third party, and they organise the shipping and the transport. We just have to get it to Luton Airport or wherever for them to ship it out. So it's not a big issue still. I mean, but we stopped dealing directly with companies abroad. But the last few orders we've sent to Kenya, we just had another 2 orders for Kenya actually, and that's an interior designer who works in Britain and in Kenya, and she organises the transportation and all the paperwork and everything, so we just have to get the goods to Luton Airport by courier, and hopefully it gets in one piece, you know. So yeah, that's not an issue for us really.
Can you tell me a bit more about those Kenya jobs? Who are the clients and what sort of stuff?
I don't know, but it's a huge house they've been doing. We've sent out a massive amount of curtain poles. We sent out, I think, for 2 rooms, I think we sent out about, it was about 60 feet of curtain poles for 2 rooms, you know, and we've just had another couple of big orders and sent another one out just after Christmas. It's just been ongoing, which is really nice. But I don't know who the customer is. I mean, I've done work for Oscar Morello, who was joint winner of the Turner Prize. I did a load of curtain poles for him to hang some of his art installations on. In one in Brazil, and the other one was in London, where it was that was runner up at joint winner of the Turner Prize. So I put curtain poles we used for that, and we've got curtain poles in the Tower of London and all sorts of places. So it's yeah, they go everywhere really.
And stamped with "Made in Kingsnympton."
I wish. I wish I could just put "made with British steel" on it, but I can't because we very, very rarely get any British steel, which is a shame.
Would you recommend blacksmithing to anyone, and what age range would you say?
Yes, I mean anybody can start blacksmithing. I mean at whatever age you want, really. The only thing is, it is in a way, it's got slightly more of a competitive market nowadays, and there's a lot of knife making, there's a lot of general blacksmithing, but it is quite difficult. A friend of mine, very, very good blacksmith, has just packed in because he's finding getting commissions very difficult, and the stuff he was selling through COVID, he was selling in shops, so he was finding it extremely difficult. and he's moved away from blacksmith now, which is a real shame. He's a very talented man. So it's not an easy way of making a living. You need to find a niche market if you can, and something slightly unique that other people aren't doing. But yes, I mean it's a nice thing to do, but it is difficult to get the commissions now. And some of the foreign imports, people come and ask me to make gates for them, and fine, I'm quite happy to make them if I've got the time, but to be honest with you, they can buy one from B&Q for less money than I can buy the steel for. So, it just doesn't really make sense anymore. But I still occasionally get somebody who's really got, the money and really want it made properly and want a nice job done, which I do a few of, but they're a bit few and far between to make a living from.